7 years. That's not a weekend project. That's not a New Year's resolution you gave up on in March. 7 years of skipping the coffee, skipping the vacation, skipping the new phone, telling yourself, it's fine, I'm building something. And yet, you look at your bank account today and it feels like nothing happened. No house, no real cushion, no freedom. Just the same tired feeling you had year one, except now you're 7 years older. Why does that happen? Why can someone save consistently for almost a decade and still feel broke? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly why this happens, and more importantly, exactly what to automate so it never happens to you again. This is Ron, and if you are serious about building real wealth instead of just feeling busy with money, hit that like button right now and subscribe to this channel. This is where we break down the systems that quietly build financial freedom, one automated decision at a time. Let's get into it. Let's start with the number, because numbers don't lie, but they do hide things if you don't look closely. Say you saved $300 a month for 7 years. That's 84 months. Multiply it out and you get $25,200. On paper, that sounds like something. That's a used car. That's a decent emergency fund. That's a down payment start. But here's the part nobody warns you about. If that money just sat in a regular checking or savings account, earning basically nothing, inflation has been quietly eating it the entire time. Prices for groceries, rent, gas, insurance, all of it has climbed year after year. So that $25,000 you're staring at today does not buy what $25,000 bought 7 years ago. In real terms, in purchasing power, you might be sitting on the equivalent of $18,000 or $19,000. You didn't lose money on paper. You lost money in what it can actually do for you. That is why it feels like nothing. Because in a very real sense, some of it actually was nothing. It evaporated while you weren't looking. And that's just problem number one. Let's talk about problem number two, and this one is even more common: lifestyle creep. Here's how it usually goes. You start saving $300 a month. You feel proud of yourself. Then you get a raise. Instead of increasing your savings rate, your expenses quietly increase instead. A slightly nicer apartment, a slightly nicer car payment, more subscriptions, more little conveniences that each cost $15 or $20 a month but add up to hundreds. 7 years later, you're earning significantly more than when you started, but you're still saving that same $300 because your lifestyle expanded to swallow every single raise. You didn't fail. Your system failed you because there was no automatic rule forcing your savings rate to grow alongside your income. Problem number 3, emergency fund raids. Life happens. The car breaks down. The dog needs surgery. A flight home for a family emergency. Every single time something like this happens, if your savings and your spending money live in the same account, in the same mental bucket, you dip into it. You tell yourself, I'll pay it back next month. Most people don't. Over 7 years, dozens of small emergencies chip away at a fund that should have been growing. This is not a willpower problem. This is an architecture problem. When there's no wall between your savings and your spending, your savings will always lose. Problem number 4, and this might be the biggest one of all. You saved, but you never invested. This is the silent killer of 7-year savers. Cash sitting in a savings account, even a decent one, is not the same as money that is working for you. If, instead of a regular savings account, that $300 a month had gone into a simple, low-cost index fund, averaging even a modest 7% annual return, compounded over those same 84 months, you would not be looking at $25,000. You would be looking at something closer to $32,000 to $35,000, depending on the exact timing of the market. That is a $10,000 difference, created by nothing more than where the money sat. Same discipline, same sacrifice, same 7 years of skipping the coffee. Wildly different outcome, because one version of you let money sit still, and the other version of you let money move. This is the core truth that this entire channel is built around. Saving money and building wealth are not the same skill. Saving is about restraint. Wealth building is about direction. You can have incredible restraint for 7 straight years and still end up in the same financial position, because restraint without direction just means you're really good at not spending money. It doesn't mean your money is working. Now let's talk about the psychological side of this, because the emotional weight of feeling like your effort produced nothing is honestly just as damaging as the financial gap itself. When you save for 7 years and don't see the results you expected, something dangerous starts to happen in your mind. You start to believe that saving doesn't work. You start to think, what's even the point? I'll just enjoy my money now. This is exactly how people end up abandoning good habits right before they would have started compounding meaningfully. The tragedy of the 7-year saver isn't usually that they quit at year 1. It's that they quit at year 7, right when consistency was finally about to pay off, because they misdiagnosed the problem. They blamed saving itself when the real issue was the system underneath it. So let's fix the system. Let's talk about what automation actually solves here, piece by piece. First, automate the separation of money the moment it arrives. The instant your paycheck lands, before you see it, before you can make a decision about it, a fixed percentage should move automatically into a separate account that is not linked to your everyday debit card. Not a "I'll transfer it manually on Friday" plan. An automatic, scheduled, same-day transfer. This single change removes the emergency fund raid problem almost entirely, because you can't accidentally spend money you never see sitting in your checking account. Second, automate your savings rate to scale with your income, not just your intentions. Every time you get a raise or a bonus, set a rule right then and there. Half of every raise increases your automatic savings percentage, and half is yours to enjoy. This directly kills lifestyle creep, because your savings rate is now mathematically tied to your income, not to your memory or your motivation on any given day. Third, and this is the big one, automate investing, not just saving. The moment your money hits that separate savings account, a portion of it, especially anything beyond your emergency fund target, should automatically sweep into an investment account. This could be an automatic monthly purchase into a broad index fund. It could be an automatic contribution to a retirement account through your employer. The mechanism matters less than the principle. Money should not be allowed to just sit and slowly lose value to inflation. It should have a standing order to go to work. Fourth, automate your emergency fund as a fixed target, not an open-ended pile. Decide on a number, say 3 to 6 months of essential expenses, and once your automatic transfers hit that number, redirect the automation. Stop feeding the emergency fund and start feeding the investment account instead. Without this rule, most people either never save enough for emergencies, or ironically, they oversave into cash and let tens of thousands of dollars sit doing nothing for years, which is its own quiet form of lost opportunity. Fifth, automate a quarterly check-in, but make it boring and mechanical, not emotional. Once every 3 months, a calendar reminder pops up. You look at exactly 3 numbers. How much is in your emergency fund, how much is being invested monthly, and what your net worth is compared to the last check-in. That's it. No guilt spiral, no doom scrolling your bank app at 11 p.m. Just a clean, scheduled, unemotional review. This keeps you honest without letting emotion drive decisions, which is exactly how impulsive financial mistakes happen. Now let's actually run the 7-year comparison so you can see the real difference automation makes. Version 1. 7 years of manually saving $300 a month, sitting in a regular savings account, occasionally rated for emergencies, never increased with raises. Realistic result, somewhere between $18,000 and $22,000, and it genuinely does feel like almost nothing, because inflation and small withdrawals have quietly worn it down. Version 2, 7 years of that same $300, but fully automated. Money moves the day it's paid. The savings rate increases with every raise. The emergency fund is capped, and the overflow is automatically invested. No manual decisions required, no willpower spent. Even with modest income growth, this version of you isn't just saving $300 a month by year 7. You might be automatically saving and investing $500 or $600 a month because your raises fed the system instead of your lifestyle. The realistic result here isn't $25,000. It's frequently in the range of $50,000 to $70,000, sometimes more, depending on income growth and market performance. Same person, same 7 years, same sacrifices, arguably even less day-to-day stress, because the decisions were made once and then automated forever. The difference isn't how hard you tried. The difference is whether the system was built to compound for you or just built to hold your money still. This is the uncomfortable truth at the center of this whole video. If 7 years of saving feels like nothing, it is almost never because you didn't try hard enough. It's because trying hard was never the missing ingredient. Direction was the missing ingredient. Discipline gets your money into a pile. Automation and investing get that pile to actually grow. And here's the good news, and I mean this sincerely. If you're watching this and you're the person who saved for 7 years and feels defeated, you are not behind in the way it feels like you are. You already have the hardest skill mastered. You already know how to say no to spending, how to prioritize the future over the present, how to be consistent for 84 straight months without quitting. Most people never build that muscle at all. What you're missing isn't character, it's architecture. And architecture can be built in an afternoon. It doesn't take another 7 years to fix this. It takes one weekend of setting up automatic transfers, one phone call, or a few clicks to open a low-cost investment account, and one calendar reminder for a quarterly check-in. So here's what I want you to take from this video. 7 years of saving is not wasted, even if it feels like it right now. But going forward, the goal is not just to save more. The goal is to automate the entire path your money takes, from the moment it lands in your account to the moment it's working for you in an investment. Separate it immediately. Scale it with every raise. Cap your emergency fund at a real number. Invest everything beyond that number automatically. And check in quarterly, calmly, without letting emotion run the show. Do that, and 7 years from now, you won't be making a video like this one wondering where your money went. You'll be the one explaining to someone else exactly how you built it. If this video gave you even one idea you're going to actually set up this week, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Because every week on this channel, we turn financial confusion into simple automated systems that actually work while you live your life. This is Ron. I'll see you in the next one.